All right. So thank you everyone for joining. Today we are going to learn about O'Reilly for Public Libraries. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Yes, after the session, I will go ahead and forward a copy of the handout and the recording when it's available. And there'll be a follow-up email with all of that information. So first off, O'Reilly for Public Libraries is an ebook service with some classes, all of that, but it's all online. It is available to any person in the San Mateo County Library System that has a library card. The whole system shares the service, so it's open to anyone. You do have to have a library card to access it. And there's a link on our website. If you visited any other library's website, like Daly City, San Bruno, San Mateo County, you would see the service there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. One second here, I want to see this. All right, so here we go. So the type of content you're going to see on O'Reilly for Public Libraries is all of these main publishers. Some of them you may recognize. There's over 200 more of them. Some of them are pretty popular, especially in our actual physical collection. We have a lot of these books that you can check out. The topics are, like I said, tech-oriented, IT. If you are a student, you may find the books and the classes really helpful. If you are someone that's trying to learn a new trade, you might find this information really helpful. They also have a lot of business materials as well, including books, classes, tips, tricks, all of those types of things. They have the For Dummies series. I personally hate the concept of the book For Dummies, but they do have them in O'Reilly digitally, so you can access those. They have quite a few hobby type titles, especially when you get into the more technical, say, Lego construction. Maybe you have some teens in your house that are super into Legos. They have some great STEAM books regarding Legos, building robots, all of that kind of thing. And there's a couple different ways you can access the content, and I'll talk about that as well. But there's going to be videos you can look at. There's going to be kind of curated playlists, which could contain videos, classes, and books that cover a specific topic. All right, let's move on here. And again, anyone in the Peninsula Library System, which is every library in San Mateo County, has access to this. And I believe include maybe the colleges, I'm not quite sure. All right, so as I mentioned, books from beginner to advanced, videos, other resources. I'll show you what they call playlists and learning paths as well. So how do you access O'Reilly? The link for it on our website is located under our online library, and I'll demonstrate the whole service so you'll see this. But it is on the online library under career and education, and you'll see O'Reilly listed there. And just to answer the question, it may come up, but there is O'Reilly for Public Libraries, the specific service we have. We don't have access to the app. You may, if you're searching the App Store, you may see that there is an O'Reilly app. Unfortunately, your library card subscription does not have access to the app. Okay, so what you'll see when you log in, you'll see kind of the whole search features. You do have a profile, but with the public library subscription, you aren't allowed to create a username and password, which is why you can't use the app. And unfortunately, you can't save stuff to like a read this list or save your place in taking a class. You would have to take note of where you were in that session, so you can go back and access it again once you log in again. But there are ways, if you are, say, reading a book and you want to save a passage, there are ways that you can email it to yourself at that time. You wouldn't be able to save it to reference later in the website, but you could email it to you so you can have it in your email. So there's going to be all sorts of topics. You're going to see stuff that's the most popular. You can search by things that are of interest to you. Like I said, business classes, career development, computer programming, a ton of stuff on computer programming, if that's of interest to you. They'll have recommended titles, and I think it's recommendations based on what people are using O'Reilly for. So like what they've recently been looking at. And it's possible like the employees of O'Reilly, like who are doing the content development, may make them recommend them as well. All right, so searching. There's a general search box where you can just enter a term and a bunch of stuff will come up. If you were to search by books or videos, you can search by the topic, like they'll have some drop-down boxes. If it's a book, you can search by a publisher. If there are some items in different languages, so you can look for those as well. And you can look at, publication date. There are going to be like older books, like maybe a certain computer programming language book from 5 years ago. And there may also be an updated version of that same book. So you want to keep that in mind as you're looking at the books themselves. As I mentioned, if you're, say, reading a book and you come upon a passage that you want to keep, like maybe for some sort of academic paper or for school, you can highlight it and then save it for while you're in that single session and then email it to yourself. I'll show you how to do that. So playlists. Users have created playlists, which you can see. And then also the content developers with O'Reilly, the people that kind of put everything together, have created playlists as well. You, as a user, cannot make playlists because you can't save your work. As I mentioned, kind of a disappointing feature, but you'll see playlists created by other people. All right. So most importantly, let's kind of demonstrate the service so we can get a better idea about what it looks like. So I'm going to stop sharing and switch out for a moment. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay, hopefully this website looks familiar to everyone. This is the library's webpage on the South San Francisco City's website. This is where you get everything you need to know about the library. All of our online services, the databases, the main websites are available in our online library, which is this far right circle icon here listed as online library. So you would go ahead and click that. And we have everything kind of organized depending on what your interest is. Specifically, O'Reilly, we consider a career education database, so it would be available here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on here and you'll see how you log in. Looks like this. You may have seen this before. There's a lot of databases that start with this screen, and so this is what you would go ahead and use. All right. You'll see a pop-up that says you're allowed, and then let's go. All right, so here we are. I mentioned that O'Reilly is the publisher of books with the little animals on it. So you may know what I'm talking about when you see this little cat here, or like the butterfly. They're kind of cute, creative the way they've done that. Anyway, so the homepage, it can be a little overwhelming, but we'll kind of go through how to weed some things out. O'Reilly has a fun feature called O'Reilly Answers. So I don't want to compare it to Google, but it's kind of like a Google for their website, where you can ask it a question and it will go ahead and search everything that's on their database and give you an answer. So a lot of maybe these are examples of what you can ask, and I don't know what 90% of these things are, but I'm just going to type this in. I don't really even know what this is, but I've seen examples of this. All right, so it's kind of brought in a few things. didn't really even answer that or ask that question correctly. But it's going to give you passages from a book, a couple different types of books. If they could find a video, they would show you a video also. And I'm sure there's videos. It may just have been the way I asked the question. But this is the O'Reilly Answers. It's a feature that could be helpful to you if you have specific a tech question. A librarian may not be able to help you with a tech question, so we may come here to get the answer for you. As I mentioned, there's the playlists. And so they're collections of the different media on O'Reilly that talks about a specific topic or author or feature. And a lot of this is very technical. But say, for example, let's go through, I'm going to find something that's a little more interesting. Oh, okay. Well, you can, these are expert playlists. You can search by playlist too. If you go under Explore, I'm going to do shared playlists. Let's see what pops up. Explore all playlists. We'll just try this Agile intro. So this one is actually just video clips. Hold on, let me find a better one. We'll do this first one. Okay, so this is SA Superstream. So it's a topic I have know nothing about, but it'll give you different, they've compiled information to support this topic. There's chapters from books, there's video clips. This looks like a maybe a presentation or a conference video from someone. So this may be something that's of interest to you. If you recognize any of these materials or topics, you can go through and read up on them. Okay, you can, if we don't go to all topics, this is where you would go ahead and kind of filter out what you're looking for. So say, for example, let's see here. So I mentioned, I'm going to just type in, oops, dummies. Does it pull up the books? No, let me try it again. It may not pull it up because it's not necessarily a topic. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, I'll show you how to search for those later. Okay, so let's do travel and hobbies just for fun, just to give you an idea of the other kind of stuff that they have that's not so technical. Let's see what kind of cooking they have. Some of these you might be able to find in the library on the shelves. Some of them here as well. I really, personally, I'm a big fan of the DK books. They're usually the really big books with a variety of different information, kind of colorful. You see them a lot in the children's section, but there's some really good ones that we have on our shelves in the library that are adult topics. Let's see, we'll go back to travels and hobbies, games and gaming. Ooh, Minecraft. If you have any kind of kids or grandkids, they may enjoy those. Health and fitness. And travel. I haven't even looked to see what kind of travel they have. All right, so they have some of the DK travel books. The Idiot's Guide stuff, a little bit of everything. It looks relatively up to date, given that 2020 was a no travel year. 2019 could be the most current we would have on here, although there is a January 2021 here for Tokyo. All right, let's say we're looking for, I'm just going to search resumes and see what pops up. They want you to click on their subtopic here. There we go, resumes and cover letters. So I have gone ahead and selected all formats, but here's where you would filter it to just a book, a learning path, a playlist, a video. They don't have any learning paths. Let's see if they have any playlists. No. Case studies? No. Okay, so let's just look at books. All right. this would be all of the books they have. Again, you're going to want to look at the dates because some of them are more current than others. For example, this is a book from 1989, so that's definitely older. The sort order is by popularity, but you could filter out anything old by clicking the publication date. Let me see if there's no videos on that. That's okay. Okay, and they're going to have recommended features, any kind of early releases on books, stuff that's going to be coming out and summarizing them. They're not actually, you could actually, let's see. I wonder if they're going to have the full, probably not the full book. But you could then write a review for people. Might be of interest to you. Let's go ahead. I want to look at their videos here. Okay, so this is kind of what I was talking about with videos. So here's for Python fundamentals. This would kind of be more of a course. Some of them do have certifications, like the Microsoft courses do provide a certificate at the end of it. But otherwise, they're just more of personal education. But it would definitely be something, I think, of value that you could put on a resume if you wanted to do that. Let's see here. Let's look at case studies. So if you are looking at O'Reilly for academic purposes, maybe you need a source for a paper you're writing. Case studies are always good, I would think. You can look at, how Instagram has evolved using, a certain feature. But these are all different businesses that there's case studies on. If that's of interest to you, you might enjoy reading some of those. Let me see here. Resource centers is content that's been created by O'Reilly employees. It's and curated by them as well. So this would be a resource center on artificial intelligence. And so it would just be a variety of different videos, books, chapters that might apply to what you're looking for. So let me go ahead and show you. Let's see here. Let's click on this chapter here. So this is machine learning and security. So say, for example, this passage right here is super important to you. So this is their e-reading platform, like how you would go ahead and do that. You have your advanced forward here up at the top. You can go backwards. You can zoom in if you're look for features if you want. You can change the size of the font depending on what you need. You can change the background, like the color too, if you want. Okay. And then here is where you would go ahead and if you wanted to do email. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and so I used my mouse, I covered a portion of this, and you can add a note or add a highlight. And then I want to add a note. So I'm going to say, use this for paper, and I'm going to save the note. So I mentioned that you can't necessarily save your progress on anything, but you can in your single session. So if you're on there for a day, or if you're logged in, you can take a class. You can save your spot for your future reference by writing down a note. But if you're reading books, saving highlights, you could go to your profile, even though it doesn't really, it's not like a username and password. If I click highlights, I can see what I just highlighted here. And what I can do is I can export all notes and highlights, and it'll export it as a an Excel file. So then you can kind of see, it'll give you the reference for your use, and then the actual section as well, and the book it came from. So you can go back and find it again if you needed to. All right. And it's unlimited reads or checkouts in a single session. You can log in as many times as you want in a day. There's no limit on that. So are there any, actually, I'll ask questions in just a second, but at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording just for publication's sake, and then we can go ahead and ask some questions.